Good morning. All right, this one, I think I want it to be about dogs because I have a lot of dog drama going on, so I could tell some stories. And it'll probably be the title of the video, but I might get distracted. I did grab some Tic Tacs because I brushed my teeth and then I drank coffee, and then I was like, yeah, I saw some Tic Tacs, so I grabbed them. And I was immediately thought, well, I'm just going to hop in the car and then I'm going to be talking with Tic Tacs in my teeth. And it'll be wonderful for the listeners. And if they want the ASMR fix, they can get it here. All right. Obviously, the ramble is strong with this one. I'm going to ramble a lot. But I'm going to talk about my dogs today. First off, just to continue the vlog part of the thing and not talk about dogs, we went to the Great Wolf Lodge. We got back yesterday. It was a successful trip. Everything was fun. We got the Wolf Pass, which was like their, best value. It was just a bunch of stuff that we pretty much wanted to make sure we got done, so we had an itinerary: bowling and laser tag and arcade, guaranteed tickets for a stuffed animal prize type of thing. So we did all of it, the whole 9 yards. Shouldn't it be 10 yards, 100 yards? That doesn't make sense, a whole 9 yards. Anyways, unless it does make sense, and I just don't know the context. So, we did the Great Wolf Lodge. That was great. Got back. It was my 40th birthday celebration / 10-year anniversary with my wife, which we've really been together for 22 years, 23 years. Right? So the dog thing. I have we have 3 rescue dogs now. With my wife, we have had 3 labs that have all passed away, but that was like our first little dog family. And we probably should have been having kids. We could have more kids right now. We could have probably more things established, all that type of stuff. I'm a late bloomer. I got a 6 and a 4-year-old. So, but we had dogs. First, we did the dog thing, and we had Charlie was our black lab. We had Tallulah. She was a yellow lab, but she was pretty much white. And we had Iggy, who was a chocolate lab. Charlie was like a purebred English, I believe, where he had like a little bit stockier head and bigger paws, a little bit sturdier, I think. And both Tallulah and Iggy came from another place that was, probably a little bit more American, quote unquote, like inbred. And Tallulah had hip dysplasia, and Iggy was like kind of like he was like hyperactive, but he like kind of like a tiny little head, tiny little noggin. But he was very, he was just they were all super sweet. So we had those dogs, and I had to put them all. Oh man, this is ugh. I had to put them all to sleep and none of it felt like I felt like I waited too long every single time, and almost like I didn't learn my lesson. And having a dog put down, is that even, is it, what are you supposed to do that? Is that a kindness? I think it is, but you have to deal with that, basically, because it's at a certain point, it is you keeping them around. They don't want to go. They want to be with you. They love you, but you have to look at the situation as like the tipping of a scale, and you have to. If anybody's out there dealing with that right now, it's awful. I haven't had to deal with it recently, but we did have an episode over the weekend. So I don't want to go through my dogs one by one and tell you how I, had to kill all of them, snuff them all out. But it was, I had to bring them all to the vet, basically, and it was, each one was a little different. And going into the details, like, I will feel the shame and the guilt again for probably making a wrong decision. I know with Tallulah, I was too late. She died on the way, and I just, like, by the time I got there, I was just like, just please tell me, like, that she's gone. I want to know that she's not, and she's, so it's crazy. Anyways, back to the present day. And today's a little melancholy. It's like a gray day. That's how I'm feeling. I feel depleted. I had all this energy coming back. We went one night, and we spent 2 days, and we had a lot of fun, and there was, it was kind of, I have this weird energy where I'm at this, middle point in my life, like a midlife crisis type of thing. But I don't feel the need to catastrophize anything. And I've kind of come to this peaceful resolution in my mind that it's like being a middle of the road peace, like mediocrity. It's like doing things almost when you're doing things in or consuming things. There is a philosophy that and I'm not talking about the dogs right now. There's a philosophy that moderation is best. Obviously abstaining from things is good, but then you're not experiencing things. So things in moderation. You don't want to overindulge, but you also don't want to limit yourself, type of idea. So if you want to indulge in certain things here and there, in moderation is okay. And there's probably a philosophy against that. If you want to strive for greatness, because greatness is an aspect that is not necessarily compatible with that. Being being righteous, being good, being valiant, being like, these are all individual traits that might be attached to goodness, but the word good and goodness, I mean, is it etymologically from God and godly and godliness? Probably, yes. So there's an attachment there. So we'll get back to, and good dogs. That's another thing. Dog being the reverse of God, or you flip, you get it. And man's best friend. There's a big correlation with dogs in my life, and love and affection, and being able to release, like having almost a dog be like your therapist. And I think my one dog, it's almost like the Green Mile. Like, he had a bunch of tumors at the end, and it was like he would still, like, as I was going through depression, he would still come up, and put his face in it. I'll cry. I'll start crying. I do have tissues, and I am actually tearing up. I'm gonna. Oh my God! I pulled out all my tissues, guys. I might have. Oh shit! I'm going too fast, and there's a cop. Full go, slowing down to 40. He's way past me. But goodness gravy. So now I can get into the actual story. Now that I'm going crazy. So we almost didn't go on this trip. We almost had to cancel our Great Wolf Lodge trip because we have 3 rescue dogs now. We have Ricky, who is our first rescue, and he is from Puerto Rico, and he's like a Chihuahua Terrier mix. Like, he's a street dog, and he's kind of a little bastard. I love him, and he's my little guy, but he's got the worst breath. Like, I brush his teeth, every couple weeks, basically. I probably don't keep up on it because it doesn't matter. He just has stinky breath. But we give him little dental treats. We try to treat it, but he's also just vengeful and spiteful, and he pisses on stuff. And we've tried to break him of that, and he's just anything that you do to make him mad. He's lost favor in the household. Basically, he's the low guy on the totem pole, and deservedly, because he's a little bastard. And sometimes it's just dogs have their own personalities, and he was the baby for a brief period of time before we had our kids. And as our other dogs, we lost Charlie, and then we brought Ricky in, and he was kind of, to heal, let that wound heal a little bit, and just my wife kind of grieving, going through that whole process. So we got Ricky, and it's another grieving process with the last 2 dogs. Oh, and I'm going to cry again. This is good though, guys. I got a couple more minutes before I get to work, and it's going to look like I have been crying, because I have been. And I should let it out so I don't have to think about it in front of my coworkers. But all the dogs, the last 3 rescues. I'm going to put my visor down so people can't see that I'm crying. The last 3 dogs that we got as rescues, I just realized they're all trying to deal with our grief of loss. So we lost our dogs, but that's to be expected. And then so we had 2 miscarriages last year, right at the beginning of the year, and then one later. And so we got Maggie. We got Maggie, and she's like a perfect Bernese Mountain Dog. And it took a little bit of, she was, they're mill dogs or whatever. So she's a mill dog, and she was supposed to be a breeder for one of the mills. And I think she had a litter when she was like just old enough, probably. And she wasn't really super trusting of people, but she's come to be the sweetest, most perfect dog. And then Teddy, we just got Teddy probably a little over a month ago, and he's a little shrimp of a golden retriever. And he's super sweet. He wouldn't harm a fly, but he's so scared. He is like terrified of everything. I gotta get it together, guys. I gotta freaking get it together, because I got like less than 6 minutes to get to work. And I'm crying. I should put a little bit of water on this. Is that gonna help? Putting old water on a napkin and wiping it on my face like a wet wipe, is that going to help? I don't know. We're going to find out, but I got to break the tension. Just breaking the tension and being retarded is good. Cool down. Ooh, cool my eyes down. There we go. Come on, baby. Don't be a little pussy little bitch. I'm going to work. Come on. What's wrong with you, man? Oh, shit. Yeah, these people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I might have to drive around for a while, guys, before I get to work. Oh, shit. So Teddy, I got time for this. I can pull it together, and my eyes are glassy as fuck, though. Look at that. Look at that shit. This is gonna get me arrested. I swear to God. Alright. So Teddy, he's just so skittish. He's scared of everybody. He's especially scared of the kids, but like he spends time up in our room, in our bed, and he like once he gets on a couch or a bed, if you don't move and if you're like petting him, if you like he'll snuggle up and he'll like be good, but he's a freak because he's so skittish, and he'll look behind himself and he'll swing his head back around as he's going around a corner and hit his head and it's like devastating. He's getting better at that because we're just, whenever he's around, we're just trying to be really still and trying to. He's getting better with all that stuff, and he's able to, and if people are chill for a long time, like he'll eventually come over, and if the other dogs, he'll follow Maggie around all over the place. He loves Maggie, and they have a great relationship. But Teddy has been eating things, the kids' toys, and chewing them up, and we've been trying to, be on top of it. But the first thing that he ate that was bad was like 70 to 80% of a like foot-long alligator toy that was hollow, that was like, just a plastic gator. But it was like, not the new type of plastic. It was like that old, it looked like, Godzilla scale type of stuff. But anyways, he's been pooping that out. We've been seeing little pieces of it. And then he didn't poop for a whole day, because he usually poops a couple times a day, and he was throwing up. He threw up his breakfast, and he threw up, and he threw it up, and then he ate it up, and then he threw up his lunch, and then he ate that up, and then he threw up. And the thing is, it was basically like, you hear him, and then, or you see it, and then you come around, and this is basically being reported back to me by my wife, and then he that night after I went to bed, he threw up his water, which that's like, that's not good. So we're like, okay, he's probably got some sort of obstruction, and we're just like thinking like, okay, maybe we might not go on this trip. Now I'm at work. I'm going to continue the story for a second until I get, because I'm already a little late. So Teddy puked up the water, and then the next day, it was the day before we had to go, and we were talking about what we're going to do. And I said, well, I want to go. I don't want to, but we have, we have the mother-in-law, Nona, coming over, and she's going to be watching the dogs, and we don't want to really leave her with that responsibility. It's not cool. So basically, Teddy pooped a big pile of blood, and there was grass and hair and pieces of alligator in this big pile of blood that I had to clean up. And so he had a big bloody hemorrhage. So we took him to the animal vet. We got him x-rayed. He's doing fine. But I spent $800 on Teddy in one go, right before we had to spend another $800 on the Great Wolf Lodge. And I didn't even think about it, I didn't even question it. You just do it because you love your dogs, All right, I'm at work. I love you guys. I love myself. That's who I'm talking to. It's all right, man. Just get in there and we're going to do it. All right, everything is going to be all right.